Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Full Throttle Infinitely Wide, the Motorsports Community Podcast. I'm Preston, joined by Mike and Ryan. We're once again Cody-less for some personal life stuff from what I can gather, but that's okay. Hopefully he'll join us again soon, whenever that may be. And we've got an absolute butt ton of races to talk about today. We're going to talk about the ARCA Menard Series race at Phoenix. We're going to talk about the Formulas 3, 2, and 1 races in Australia. We're going to talk about the IndyCar race at Phoenix. We're going to talk about the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Phoenix. And finally, the NASCAR Cup Series race at Phoenix. So, before we get started, Mike and Ryan, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing alright other than some very rough weather outside, but I'm doing fine inside.
That's good. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Possibly may have a career choice here, a career change lined up. Possibly, we'll see by Friday.
Yeah.
Good
Like I
luck
said,
with that.
What'd you say, Mike?
I said good luck with that.
Yeah. Like I said before, Ryan, hope the interview went well.
It did. Everything did go well, according to the guy that interviewed me. He called me today and said, "If I should expect something maybe Friday, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's an offer on Friday, and then I can put my 2 weeks in and move on."
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about the ARCA race at Phoenix. From what I remember, this race was an absolute crash fest. But other than that, I thought it was a decent race. It was won by Carson Brown, who made his ARCA Menard Series debut. And from what I'm reading, only 13 cars finished on the lead lap, and there were 4 cars that didn't even complete a lap. It was a really chaotic race. Did Mike and Ryan, did you guys see it?
I caught the highlights of it.
Yeah.
I did not. I was actually streaming my what I'm doing a NASCAR 15 career mode that night, so I didn't even
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't catch any of it.
Yeah. You honestly didn't miss much. It was typical ARCA crash fest. I mean, maybe not every ARCA race is a crash fest, but you know what I mean. So I guess that's out of the way really quickly. Let's head over to the Formula 3 race at Albert Park in Australia. That was won by, hopefully I pronounced this right, Ugo Ukuchiku. I probably heavily butchered that. I'm really sorry. And there were... this race ended under caution, and I was, not really happy about that, but what can you do, right? Some things are just out of the race officials' control. But aside from the race ending under caution, I thought it was a decent race, and something I had forgotten about prior to this race is that while F1 isn't using DRS anymore, F3 and F2 are. And for the life of me, I can't remember what the new system for F1 is called. So if you remember what it's called, let me know that in the comments. So this will hopefully be my my first full year of watching a Formula 3 season, thanks to my Apple TV Plus subscription, giving me access to F1 TV. And I have a little bit of gripes with Apple TV's F1 ticker, but we'll get to that later. So the F2 race was won by Nicolas Soloff. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I was kind of hoping either Colton Herta or Sebastian Montoya would do really well, but they finished, and when I say would do really well, end up on the podium or something, but they ended up finishing 7th and 9th respectively. Montoya got a penalty, but I can't remember what it was. I think it was a speeding penalty, and he got a 5-second penalty from it, maybe 10. I really don't remember off the top of my head. I do apologize. But hey, at least they both got points, right? Did you guys catch any highlights of it?
That one, no. Unfortunately not.
I'll be
I only
honest.
watched the Truck Series, O'Reilly Series, and Cup Series.
I don't think there was a Truck Series
I,
race this weekend.
the only two
There
races I
wasn't?
watched this week, the only two
They
races
must
I
have
watched
played a
this
rerun
weekend
on
were
TV then. I wasn't paying attention to it really.
yeah, there was no truck race this weekend, Mike. I only
My
watched
local
the
TV station must have played a rerun then, because there was a Truck Series race on Friday that I browsed past. Didn't
Yeah.
really pay
yeah.
attention to it though.
Right.
I personally only watched the IndyCar race and the Cup race.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't seem like
So,
much of like a Formula 1, 2, or 3 kind of guy.
nah, not a Formula One guy. If I'm watching open wheel, it's IndyCar.
I gotcha. And speaking of IndyCar, let's talk about that. I'm honestly shocked that Alex Palou had a DNF. I thought he was going to do really well, but he didn't.
Well, again, it's because we saw two incidents in the race, very similar, which you could argue what ultimately, I should say, what ultimately played in hand and how the race finished. Incident was very similar to what happened to Palou, and it's again, as a guy that doesn't watch as much IndyCar as I should, the fact that some people were even saying that the guy who was on the outside was the one who was at fault, it's like I don't understand that. It's like you should be aware of who's outside you as you're moving up the track, and for that to be a rare mistake from somebody of the caliber driver that's Palou is kind of, I think, the most shocking of that. You know, this is a guy that seemed to not have any weakness in him, and he makes a move like that and it gets himself destroyed early on, and like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
You would not expect that out of somebody of the caliber and somebody with a resume of Palou.
Yeah. And towards the end of the race, I thought the winner was going to be Christian Rasmussen or Will Power, but they ended up having a collision, and Joseph Newgarden won the race.
Well, even then, after the collision between the 21 and Power, which when I streamed the IndyCar race, I kept mispronouncing his last name, so I figure the more IndyCar races I watch, I'll finally get it right. But yeah, it's like after they got even the initial few laps, it seemed like his car was okay for the first couple laps, and then that's when the damage actually started to show itself, the suspension damage. And then once he gave it up, then you had Kyle Kirkwood take over. You know, Kirkwood, who was a factor at St. Pete the last race out, is suddenly in the position. And then ultimately what he got beat on was the fact that Newgarden, along with several others, took tires late. And he just charged his way up there and got it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
So
they were saying that the last race there in 18 that Newgarden won, he did almost the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Took tires late and beat who was leading at the time. So,
yeah,
almost a rerun apparently of 2018, just with more laps left, I think.
Yeah. And thanks to Newgarden winning, we have, for the first time in a long time, someone other than Alex Palou leading the standings. And again, like, I honestly didn't see Palou crashing coming. I thought we got a top 10 at least. But what are you gonna do? So yeah, whether or not Palou wins another title remains to be seen, but I think he's still got a good chance, right?
Some big season ahead of him.
Yeah. So let's move on to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Phoenix, and the winner was Justin Allgaier, who led only 11 laps. And how many cars were on the lap? Only 19. Wow. And it looked like a pretty clean race for the most part until like a wreck or two towards the end. I was falling asleep near the end because I had to get some rest for a trip to the local pub for the Formula 1 race, which we'll get to in a bit. But you guys saw the O'Reilly race, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, what's fun to me about it I've not noticed it with past races at Phoenix. Well, in recent years, watching that, it felt a lot like a late '90s Phoenix race, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It played out like old Phoenix used to.
And only 2 cars failed to finish the race. That being the cars of, or those being the cars of William Swalich and Ryan Ellis. So 36 cars were running at the finish. Not that all of them were on the lead lap. And I'm very curious as to who will win the first O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Championship under the chase format. Because if you remember, when it took until like what or sorry, I can't English today. It was in 2016, I think, maybe 2015, when the playoffs arrived in the O'Reilly and Truck Series. Was it 2015? Ryan, do you remember?
2016 was the first year for trucks and O'Reilly Series to have the playoff format.
Yep. But remember, the whole win you're in thing and the elimination after a few races thing, those are both out the window this time around. Don't forget. So, yeah, 2 races to go in this podcast episode. Let's move on to the Formula One race at Albert Park, and
I did catch a little bit of the highlights of that.
You did?
Yes.
Nice. I thought it was a pretty good race. There were 3 virtual safety car incidents, but other than that, I think this was a good race. I think the new aerodynamic package is pretty good. Lots of passing. It's like I said before, it's not DRS anymore. I just can't remember the new name off the top of my head. But whatever this new package is, I think it's good. Some drivers are complaining about it, but I think it's okay. And everyone's got their own opinion, and that's okay. The winner was George Russell, and his teammate finished second. His teammate being Kimi Antonelli, and rounding out the podium was Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari, with Lewis Hamilton, his teammate, finishing 4th. I honestly am surprised that Lando Norris and Max Verstappen didn't make the podium, and this is the first time in a long time that we've had an F1 race in which they both failed to make the podium. And there were 5 drivers that DNF'd. Well, I should say 3 drivers DNF'd, and 2 didn't even start. The 3 drivers that DNF'd were Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, and Isaac Hadjar. And Oscar Piastri and Nico Hulkenberg didn't even get to start the race. Piastri had a crash on the the lap before the formation lap. It was I didn't see that coming. And
yeah, I also lost a small bet with a family member because of this race.
Oh God, do tell.
We had a bet of who would do better in their F1 debut, Audi or Cadillac.
And how'd that go for you?
Yeah, Audi topped Cadillac.
I take it you lost some money.
It was $10.
That could have been worse, right?
Yeah.
So you said you caught highlights of it?
Yes.
Nice. What do you think of the racing? What do you think of the aerodynamic package?
It's a whole lot more exciting than the last time I watched F1, which was sometime in 2024.
Yeah. I think Apple TV is fine for it, although I noticed the ticker was glitching a lot. If I remember correctly, it said that Max Verstappen had an engine failure. And I found out later that it was actually Isaac that had an engine failure. And then it kept having fits in terms of drivers retiring or coming back on track. I'm like, okay, are certain drivers retired or not? Make up your mind, Apple Ticker. But yeah, it was a good race, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I think it should be a really good season of F1 this year, don't you?
Yeah, it looks like it's heading that direction.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to in terms of seeing like whether or not McLaren will be champions again this year. Maybe Norris will get 2 in a row. Maybe we'll get a new champion. We'll see. But I do have a feeling that this 1-2 finish for Mercedes could be the sign of like Mercedes being serious contenders for the Constructors' Championship. Hell, maybe even
from what I watched, Red Bull was way off their game from their past seasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kadger could have finished better if it wasn't for his engine failure, but who knows?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
And Verstappen was only as high as he was because he's Max Verstappen. He can wheel the hell out of that car.
Yeah. Yeah, he started 20th and moved to 6th. That's pretty impressive. So, Ryan, I take it you don't have much to say about this race?
No, I don't.
All right.
To be
well,
fair,
hopefully
you like what you like. It's just I'm not a huge. I'm not a Formula One guy, so
that's all right. Everyone knows.
I do have to say though, it is nice to see an American car brand finally represented in Formula One.
I mean, I'm with you on that, Mike.
Yeah, although they were pretty poorly on track, it is still cool to see the name Cadillac in F1.
Yeah.
Of all the brands, Cadillac, it was kind of surprising. I guess it makes sense with all their WEC sports car stuff.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to the final race, the Cup Series race at Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, let's talk about it. So the winner was Ryan Blaney, much to Mike and Ryan's happiness.
Yeah, Penske gets the sweep.
Yep, 9 cars failed to finish the race. We had some pretty big accidents involving drivers like Austin Cindric and Joe Logano.
Yeah, Logano's crash at Phoenix is one of the most mangled up I've ever seen the next-gen car.
Yeah, and sadly we didn't get to see Alex Bowman race because he was suffering from vertigo, and he's actually going to be out this weekend too. He was replaced in this race by Anthony Alfredo, who finished 33rd, unfortunately. And did I say 9 cars DNF? It was actually 10. My bad. I was absent from school and learned to count to 10. Just kidding. I honestly thought the winner was going to be someone like Ty Gibbs, like getting his first career victory, but maybe another time. We'll see what happens.
Literally, what the race played out, at least the late part of the race, played out just like it did in the fall, just with a little more laps left. Because you literally had, running short on tires, the decision on when that last yellow came out. Do you take 2 or do you take 4? And it was kind of funny because Denny Hamlin's crew, immediately we're taking 2. like they learned from the fall.
Yeah.
But I was more surprised at the kind of recovery out of the 5 car because Larson's crew did not fire off great at all. In fact, all 4 Hendrick cars had, well, aside from Larson, had some sort of issue on Sunday. Yeah. Obviously, Bowman, we know what happened with Bowman first. But in the race, you had Alfredo was having a decent recovery for him. And then he got caught up in the first big one, which saw Cindric kind of launched against the wall. And then Chase Elliott was caught up when Daniel Suarez spun and got a couple. And I think Byron had some sort of issue too. I forget if he had a pit issue or something, but he had some sort of issue too, and he had 3 of them, and then Larson had a little bit of recovery despite fading early on, and almost I thought for a second Larson was going to win that race because I thought for a second, is he going to do what he did in the fall? And his car just wasn't as good as Blaney or Bell's, and Bell tried to get to Ryan, but again, Blaney just from the back to the front. They had 2 issues with loose wheels. One, he actually stopped in Logano's pit stall and actually got it fixed, and was penalized, so he had to start at the back. But finally, when it mattered most, he picked up what he needed. They played the strategy. He got the track position, and once he got the track position, he didn't look back.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, my connection's getting a bit wonky here. I'm still here.
That's all right. I honestly thought Shane Van Gisbergen was going to get a top 10 on an oval again, but that didn't happen. He came close, though.
Yeah, I mean, 11th isn't. It's still an improvement for him, too. I mean, he's slowly but steadily been improving on the ovals as he goes 2 tracks he's driven on already.
Yeah, and he had, 2 spins in this race and still finished 11th? That's pretty damn impressive.
Well, there was a couple. I got to bring up the results myself again, but there was a couple that had recoveries. I mentioned Blaney, obviously the race winner, but there was a couple also who had issues that were able to recover too. I mean, see if I can look here. Well, Shane had a couple spins. I can't believe Kyle Busch almost got a top 15 finish the way that car was all day.
Yeah.
The fact he wheeled that car to finish 17th, as bad a day as he was having, and still salvaged a 17th place finish. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. Maybe it's just the 2-time Cup champion is showing up in him there, because that car should not have finished on the lead lap where it did.
And it would be cool to see Kyle Busch finally get another win this year, because I honestly feel a little bit bummed out about his fall from grace, and Richard Childress Racing's fall from grace for that matter. I mean, I know Austin Dillon's won here and there. I mean, I know there was a time Austin Dillon won in a way I really don't agree with, but that's for another time. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Richard Childress Racing can get back to the elite of NASCAR teams. Whether or not that happens this year remains to be seen, but we'll find out.
Everybody goes through it. Every veteran driver goes through it where they have that rough patch in their career. Jeff Gordon had 2 winless seasons. Jimmy Johnson, the tail end of his full-time career went bad. It's every driver has it, and it's nobody seems to be in tune to it. It did seem like Kyle Busch was going to be the exception because he got the record for most consecutive seasons with at least a win.
Yep, 19.
And it looked like he was going to be the one to kind of buck that trend. And then 2024 happened.
Yep.
And that was when the fall. It was like, okay, well, maybe next year something will change. And, it hasn't now. And I know the rumor's been out there about will he stay with RCR, and I don't know. It's like at this point in Kyle's career, I hate to almost say it, but he really doesn't have anything left to really prove other than trying to maybe win the Daytona 500 is the only thing left on his Cup resume that he hasn't done. How much longer is he willing to go before he finally gives up the ghost and looks for something else?
Yeah.
Because I know he's talked about maybe dropping down to the Truck Series to try to get the trifecta championships.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. And again, the sport's all about momentum. It's like if you can swing the momentum your way, things will happen. You look no further than Tyler Reddick's bunch. The 45 bunch, the way they started the year, you win the first 3 races. A team that didn't win a single race last year wins the first 3 races this year. It's amazing how much momentum can swing things.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Who knows? Well, we sure got through those 7 races pretty quickly, didn't we?
I was I watched maybe only 2 of them, so it kind of
Yeah.
kind of makes it only 2 that we're really discussing. But for me,
So, yeah, it's been 25 and a half minutes, and we've covered all 7 races. I think we'll call it here, and hopefully next time we'll have Cody back on board. And if not, no hard feelings to him, And hopefully next week we'll have some time to cover one of our special topics. I'm thinking at some point we talk about tracks we want to see on the NASCAR schedule. That's definitely been in the back of my mind for a while.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
we could do that and go even further with that. Say, not only tracks we want to see in the Cup schedule, but maybe tracks that we'd like to see a revival of.
Yeah.
As well, too.
Mm-hmm.
So just making it a blanket topic. We'll talk about
tear down whatever the hell is there and rebuild Riverside. Damn it.
I don't see it happening.
We'll talk about tracks next time.
Yeah.
Maybe our favorite tracks too that we'd like to see the races on, or races we'd like to go see.
Yep. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of special topics, and hopefully we'll get through them bit by bit. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to this 4th episode of our podcast. Don't forget that you can listen to each episode a day before they go on YouTube by subscribing to my Patreon page for $1 a month. If you decide not to do that, that's okay, no hard feelings. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you liked it, feel free to hit that like button if you want. If you want to keep up with the future videos on this channel, whether it be episodes of this podcast or something else I'd like to do on this channel, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you give Ryan and Cody follows on their Twitch and YouTube channels. And yeah, that's just about going to do it. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.